Hello friends, and welcome to the tutorial. Today we are going to be drawing a Chibi style vampire using the Picasso Tab and Sketchbook Pro. Let's begin. I am going to start by creating a new layer, picking a dark blue colour for sketching and selecting the pencil tool. To begin the sketch, I am drawing a rough circle. This will act as the base for the face, and then drawing in a line coming down on each side of the circle to form the jaw. Then I added in 2 more lines coming down and inwards to form the chin. This is the basic face shape for our Chibi vampire. From there I drew in 2 lines, each curving slightly outwards on each side of the face, starting from the edge of the jawline. This is the vampire's main body shape. I added in a pointy triangle into the middle of the body and then drew in the front and collar of the jacket from that line. I drew in the edge of the collar pointing up and out from the main body line. I then added a couple of buttons to the front of the jacket and then moved on to the arms. Drawing 2 lines curving out and upwards, I added in both arms and a collar onto each sleeve. I then drew in each hand, and a Chibi style usually has a really simple and stylized hand shape, so don't fuss too much about the hands. The ones on this vampire here are built of little blocks. There's 1 block for the palm, roughly a rectangular block for the thumb, and then a block for each of the remaining fingers. I also added in a couple of sewn patches onto his sleeves. With his body drawn, I am now going back to finish the face. Starting with drawing a couple of pointed ears and then a huge smile that fills up most of the lower section of the face, coming up to the base of the ears. Don't forget to add in the pointed teeth. For the eyes, I am adding 2 very simple but expressive little sideward V shapes, and then moving on to work on the hair. I drew the hair in blocks, with 1 large and pointed block sitting in the middle of his forehead and then drawing in the rest of the hair coming down both sides. I then added in a tattered cape on either side. I think this vampire has been rather down on his luck in the past. Now that the vampire is finished, let's add in a background, starting with a few landscape lines. And then up on the hill behind him, I added in a little castle. Obviously the vampire is happy because he's no longer down on his luck. Perhaps he's inherited the castle and is posing for a photo outside. With a few trees added behind the castle and some bushes outside of the castle door and a single final hill drawn on the horizon, the sketch was completed. To outline, I put the opacity of the sketch layer down, locked it in, and then created a new layer for the outlines. I chose a dark brown and the fountain pen. You can adjust the size and pressure sensitivity to get the line weight you would like. I then turned the predictive stroke tool on to help smooth out my lines, and then simply traced the entire drawing, zooming in and out as I went. After the main outline was finished, I went round the vampire once more to thicken up the outer lines, just to help him stand out from the background. Now, moving on to the colouring. I started by duplicating all the line art layers, and then worked in the lower of these layers to paint bucket in all the sections of the drawing. I chose dark greys and red for his clothes, yellow for his hair, and then filled in the background with light browns, green and greys for the castle. It's normally a good idea to place lighter or contrasting colours in the background, otherwise the foreground character can become a bit lost if the background is too bright. After all the main colours were in, I added in some shadows and highlights, picking a lighter and a darker colour for each section, and drawing in shadow and highlight lines. This is a simple block style shading, but it's effective in adding further details into a drawing. I usually add in a highlight line on one side of a shape and then the shadow line on the opposite side, or I add highlights on the top of a shape and shadows on the bottom. I also add in shadows wherever an object is overlapping another. I added in extra details to the background in the same way. The final step was to add in some white circles and the drawing was complete. I hope you enjoyed drawing the Chibi vampire today. Thank you for watching.